off as a hack, just seeing, okay, well, we've rendered all these Mercator views, how about we wrap them around a sphere? And that started looking really good. We added some flashes and we thought, okay, so we'll stick some atmosphere on and we'll give it some animation. And I actually went on a whole long track to download very realistic star maps, look at densities of stars, and threw that all away and stuck a load of spots in the background. It was surprisingly successful, this movie. It's had 100,000 views on Vimeo. We were slightly surprised by it. It's done quite well as promoting, I think, both the OpenStreetMap project to people who don't really know much about the world of data collaborative mapping. Should have started a bit far in, but this is all the edits among them. We're going to make it available somehow that people can choose their own cities, can choose their own bounding boxes, whatever bits of the globe, and render their stuff. Which is, so it's a different take, but hopefully it'll be just as interesting. I guess there's part of me that's a frustrated artist, and so some of this stuff is just pure trying to make appealing images. This is the buildings in Minsk, and these are streams in Wales, and there's a lot of, we're going to do more of this. We've got some tools that make this really quite easy. So, also, Simone was talking earlier about these.
How do you render all these?
Worked in here an hour ago. This is showing, really just using to sort of promote the work of the people who had produced this produced mapping in Haiti, starting 8 hours after the earthquake, and thanks to lots of generous donations from the aerophotography companies. A bit more of our sort of day job is we look after lots of data sets for that you can then lay that onto the country. And then suddenly that's actually quite interesting. You can see patches where the traffic's getting worse and where it's improving. There's a lot of, this is a single day in the year, so there's a lot of sort of noise in the signal. You can then do that for all the main motorways, and you can see sort of up in Edinburgh, there's a lot of traffic increase there in HGVs, and then you notice you've got a 3D thing, and if in doubt, spin it. This was an interactive app which had a sort of spin function, but you could sort of pan around and zoom in. Way back, one of the first things we visualized was the rail SIF file, which is railway journeys in the country. It was very interesting just to sort of see the shadow of the country with none of its actual details. You can hear they're just point to point. The Edinburgh train is a line, but you can see how London-centric all our public transport is. You can see which bits of the country are well served, which are completely starved of rail traffic, and you can see this from London's point of view. And when you're visualising this stuff, quite often choosing how fast you do it, there are patterns that you see when you're doing it. When you spread the day across 20 seconds, when you spread it across a minute, or you spread it across 5 seconds. The faster you do it, you start seeing these sort of heartbeats of how it all, how the sort of pattern of the day, the flow in, the flow out, middle commuting. Then there's just some other visualization of, okay, let's stick a little flag up for every bus stop, let's stick some real buses on. This actually just goes off into info porn, really, but these bars are showing how many departures go from each stop, and you can see again how sort of city-centric it is. And London is vast. Those buses, you never quite got close enough in the movie, but they were set so that if you got really close, you could actually read where they were going. And anyone who's read Tooth will notice that this was during the Tooth beige phase for the background. So that's what's there. So connectivity. This is a sequence from leaving Maidstone via all modes of transport with a time horizon sort of extending out to 2 hours. So initially you're just walking, all the grey stuff as you're walking down the street. Orange is you taking your bus, and the green ones are you taking the railways, and you can see going into London and off to the coast. You can obviously also display this as an increasing chroma graph. Then there's another one which I really haven't found a great use for, but it's quite sweet. Is to visualise that person leaving. Yes, I mean, because the thickness of these, this is basically simulating a time horizon of a person taking every possible route home, and then thickening the ones that are used more often. So the sort of thick lines indicate that there's a large portion of the the surrounding area that's accessible via that route. But you can also do this. You can show these people going out. So the green people are green people walking along streets. The orange people are people on buses. And oh, hang on a sec. What is it? I think orange people are people waiting at bus stops, and the violet are people on buses. So that's a small bit of transport. So how much transport is there? Normally people get, you can just see all the buses running all the time, and it's fairly amazing. Also, on this sort of learning stuff about your data, your brain very quickly picks out the anomalies, these sort of 400-mile-an-hour buses, which would be impressive, but sadly not available. I think their data problems in the, we have to basically run a micro router between every bus stop. Sometimes that fails and it produces, if the breaks in the lines, it has to take crazy routes between things. We actually rendered this years ago, and we would have loved to have put it up on the web a long time ago. There's one problem with that. The background is a Navtech map. We have a license to render stills from Navtech. We don't have a license to render movies, and we asked them many times, and we waited a long time, and yeah, it just didn't really seem to happen. I can't remember whether it was just too expensive or we lost the will to live, but so we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it with another mapping system. So using OpenStreetMap, this is real work in progress. This isn't anywhere near finished, but this shows, okay, well, we'll take the planet dump and we will extract all the railways, and we will run routes for all our vehicles. We'll run routes along the railways, and generally it works really fine. Obviously, something really bizarre is going around Bristol with high speed, much too high speed.
That's me on the intercity.
The tube obviously hums away at a fair old rate. Lots and lots of vehicles. We're going to combine these into a sort of big UK transport movie fairly soon, as soon as we get this done. So this is where we're working with. This is the London buses from a while back. We will produce a version of this that you can download or look at in 1080. And really just sort of final thought that, at its best, visualization produces something you want to look at, and you just learn stuff from it while looking at it. And well, that's going to be done. Thanks very much.